Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to do a video on Romans 12 verse 1, and it's something that the Lord has been wanting me to share with you, and it goes like this. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Now I have a question for you. How do you view God's mercy? What is God's mercy to you? And I just want you to drop it down in the comments. As I was reading it and rereading it, I felt the Lord speaking to me. And he said, Reuben, I sent my son, Jesus, to die for you on the cross so that you don't have that burden of sin. And it's something that we should be grateful about. Because that's like the greatest gift that anyone could ever give you. That you don't have to carry a burden of sin or a burden of shame or any burden at all, because Jesus has paved that way for us. And that's God's mercy on us as a people. What does to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God, mean? As I spent time reading it and rereading it, I felt the Lord speaking to me, and this is what He wants me to share with you. He wants you to allow Him to have control over your life instead of you controlling it. He wants you to give yourself to God, give yourself to Christ. He wants you to allow Him in your friendships, in your relationships, in your jobs, and even in school, to let Him have control over that. And just to allow Him to make those changes in your life and be obedient to those changes. And I know that may be scary because you're not sure what He'll change. But I can testify to you that the plans that God has for you is far greater than what you can imagine and that what you can plan for yourself. And I can testify to that. I was in this romantic relationship about 2 years ago. And then after it ended, I remember being so selfish in my ways that I wanted her to remain as a friend of mine. And so she did, and we were friends. And I know some of you are thinking that's like the worst idea. And I can agree, it was a really bad idea. Because it hurt me a lot. Because I was so selfish. I was trying to control what was going on in my life. And I had this selfish hope that we would reunite. And some days it felt like we were close. But in reality, we were so far away from that. And yeah, it really hurt me. It put me in this place where I was just anxious, where if they were cold to me, I was like, I'm doing something wrong, I gotta fix this, this is going so wrong right now, and I don't know what to do, and like if they leave, I'll be alone. And like I was so anxious about it. I have really overthought things, and it wasn't healthy. And throughout that time, I was pushing myself away from God even more and more. And yeah, I was like in a really bad place. And this like happened like also really recent, like at the start of the year. I was just in this bad place. I was like crying every day. I got home from work or I got home from doing something and I was just crying because things weren't going my way, and I didn't know what to do. I remember thinking like, okay, if they leave, I'll be alone and I'll have nothing But that was like, that's the farthest from the truth, because I had a lot. And there was just one day where I was crying, and my brother came in my room, and he said, "Ruben, would you like to recommit to God?" And I said, "Yes, I would like to recommit to God." Even before that question was asked, leading up to it, I felt the Lord calling me. And I wanted to push that away as far as possible, because I was so scared about the changes that He'd make in my life. I was so scared if I gave myself to Him, He'd remove that friendship. He'd change so much in my life. But after, so when He asked me that question, I said to myself, in my mind, "Lord, you won. You can have my life. You can have everything in my life." And shortly after we did that, I prayed. And I prayed to Him. I said, "Father, I come before you to pray that you remove anything that is not of yours, that you remove the fruits that aren't good for me, that if there's any friendship in my life, or any friendships in my life that aren't of yours, just to remove them from my life, and I allow you to make these changes in my life." And He did. And I'm no longer friends with him. Because I noticed that it was a bad place for me, and I couldn't be friends with him no longer. And shortly after, I felt this peace in my life that I have never had. And it's like a peace that I can't even describe to you. I'm a lot happier in life. And I don't know, I got this genuine smile in my life. This genuine laugh, this genuine energy that I have. I used to be this quiet person, reserved. And I don't feel like that anymore. Like, I'm here speaking to you in a on this camera. And before I wouldn't have, because I was that quiet person. Yeah, and after giving myself to God, He's changed so much in my life. He's added so much people that benefit me. And I am thankful for the Lord that He's put them in my life. And if you're watching this video, I thank you guys for the support. And I'm really thankful for the Lord that He's put you in my life. You know who you are. All of you. Like, the changes that God can do in your life, if you just give yourself to Him, are immense. And just spending time with Him, allowing Him in your life, allowing Him in these friendships, relationships, jobs, etc. It pleases Him, because He knows that you're so open with Him about that you'll allow Him to make those changes, and that you'll be obedient to those changes. Because those changes will be beneficial for you, and they'll be good for you, because He knows more than us. He's got that godly wisdom that we don't. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will try to answer them as best as I can. Yeah, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.